Welcome, everyone, to the HomeBuilder Lunch. Are you guys excited? I am excited also. This is going to be an incredible afternoon. My name is Libra Ford, and I am honored to be here with you as your MC. It feels so right in this moment. This is what community is. Coming together for a great cause at a great moment with great friends and great food. This is a celebration. 50 years of Habitat of Humanity's impact around the globe. That deserves an applause. 45 years right here in this beautiful place we call home of Portland. Since 1981, Habitat Portland region has partnered with more than 3,000 people in our community to build and repair homes. That is not just construction. That is stability. That is dignity. That is the foundation that people live, grow, and dream from. Today we will hear lots of stories and what is coming up next from the President and CEO Steve Messinetti. In addition, you will hear stories and real stories that remind us that when we come together, we can open the door to safety, opportunity, and possibility. We are here because we believe everyone deserves stable, affordable housing. But too many people doesn't get that affordability option. This is not abstract. This is real. Many of us know someone that is holding it together right now, just barely, maybe just barely paying their rent with fear of what is next. Young families doing everything right and unable to get ahead. I personally know that story. In 2014, myself and my wonderful superpowers, my children, within 24 hours, winded up in a homeless situation. It was sudden, it was disorienting, and it was debilitating to our minds and our bodies. Through the support of nonprofits and social services, similar to Habitat to Humanity, we made a promise to each other that we would make it through and make it to the other side. 9 months later, we were able to call a place a home, and to this day, I touch my walls in great gratitude. Because I know this meeting so well, when you fight for these basic needs for others, you cannot do anything but feel the movement and the power of community. And everyone in this city deserves that, a place to call home. They deserve stability, they deserve hope, they deserve space to dream. Before we go any further, let us take this moment to honor the land we are on, because this conversation about homes and belonging can't start without that. Joining me to read Habitat for Humanity's land acknowledgment and Habitat's Vice President of People, Culture, and Inclusion, Michelle M.J. Jordan.
Good afternoon. At Habitat, we build homes, but we also build community and hope. Honoring this land means committing to the equity in real, tangible ways. Listening to Indigenous voices, partnering with communities, and ensuring that the homes we create reflect the dignity for all. I invite you to take a moment with me, not just to acknowledge history, but to imagine a future where we can all build together. One rooted in justice, belonging, and shared stewardship. As a home builder and community partner, Habitat's work relies on the land that we build upon. land that is precious to us all. Habitat is an organization committed to equity and inclusion, and we understand the significance of acknowledging this history of the land in which we connect. We are currently on the ancestral lands of Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Willamette, Clackamas, bands of Chinook, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Malala, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia River. We can't respect that history without also acknowledging the enduring influence of colonization that sought to extinguish indigenous peoples from our community. We're also surrounded by land once home to thousands of Black Portlanders, forced from their communities due to systemic patterns of racism and displacement. We understand that these patterns have oppressed communities of color for centuries, and that impact continues. So as collective stewards of this land, we pay respect to elders past and present. We honor indigenous peoples, including the nearly 70,000 Native descendants from over 380 tribes living here today. Habitat is committed to centering, yes, you can clap for it. Yes. Yes. Habitat is committed to centering our work on communities most impacted by inequity. We encourage you to stand with us, to act with us on this commitment by also supporting Indigenous and/or Black organizations, Black-led organizations, and campaigns that evoke change in our community. So let's just take a brief moment of reflection to pause and consider this before moving into our next portion of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, MJ. As I look at this room, there's so much here. I saw some of you out front enjoying conversation, enjoying each other, and I can feel the energy of community from each and every one of you. That's what Habitat builds. Not just home, but community and hope. Thank you for taking the time today to come with us to make a difference. And thank you to the elected officials that are joining us today championing affordable housing. I see you. Let's give them a round of applause. Now I'd like to take a brief moment to also speak on the generosity of our event sponsors. Because of them, every dollar you contribute goes straight to building and repairing homes. Special thanks to our platinum sponsors, Paulson, Coletti Trial Attorneys. Our gold sponsors are On Point Community Credit Union and Par Lumber. On Point, y'all always show up with your applause. I love it. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Banner Bank, Dunn Carney, EC Electric, J.E. Dunn Construction, Kaiser Permanente, and The Standard. And of course, we want to recognize our bronze sponsors. Their names are listed on the screen. And thank you to our supporting sponsors who are also listed on the screen. Let's show a round of applause and appreciation for all of our sponsors. We are grateful for each and every one of you. Your support has created stability, a brighter future for families across our region. This is not small. This is major contributions in our community. Thank you. And to speak more about supporting Habitat, I am pleased to welcome to the stage Claire Leipzig.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claire Leipzig, and I'm chair of the Ambassador Council, and I'm so honored to be here with all of you today. My own journey with Habitat started about 4 years ago when I was looking for a way to give back to my community. Service runs deep in my family, and when we talk about it, we usually start with the story of when my great-grandfather answered a letter campaign. A fellow farmer in the Midwest was looking for donations of cattle, heifers specifically, to help feed hungry families around the world. Well, my great-grandpa thought that was something he could do, so he loaded up his donation in kind to what would become one of the first heifer international projects. Months later, and by total coincidence, he happened to see his cow one more time. He called out to her, she turned and recognized him and lowed back at him. Now, this part of the story usually has an excellent cow impression, but I'm gonna skip that for today. This story gets told a lot in my family because it reminds us that when you give what you can, your time, your skills, your resources, it leaves a mark. Habitat became the place where that value came to life for me. At every build day, every restore shift, every meeting, it's meaningful work that adds up. And it adds up because of you. I'd like to take just a moment to show you what that looks like. If I mention a way that you've supported Habitat, I'd ask that you please stand as you are able and stay standing. Let's hold our applause till the end and celebrate the Habitat community in this room together. So if you serve on a Habitat committee, the board of directors, the Homeowner Leadership Council, the Ambassador Council, crew, Interfaith Committee, or the Strategic Engagement Committee, please stand as you are able. If you volunteer at any of our restores, Portland, Beaverton, Gresham, or Tigard Restore, please stand. If you volunteered at a build site in the last year, Westlake Grove, King City, Century Commons, Myrtlewood Way, or 25th Terrace, please stand. If you donate to Habitat and help make this mission possible, please stand. And finally, I'd like to recognize the people in this room who do this work every single day, the Habitat staff. Would you please stand so we can thank you? Take a look around, everyone. This is what community looks like. You may be seated. Today, we have a goal to raise $500,000 to support Habitat's mission. And right now, we have an incredibly generous giving challenge known as the HopeBuilder Circle Challenge. The HopeBuilder Circle Challenge is made possible by a remarkable group of donors who are committed to matching all gifts of $1,000 or more up to $250,000. Yes, thank you. You'll see their names on the screens behind me. To those donors, thank you. Your leadership shows the power of community philanthropy. If you are someone who has the capacity to consider a $1,000 gift today, this is the moment when your generosity can go twice as far. I want to emphasize that all gifts made today matter, truly. Whether it's $50, $100, or $500, every gift helps build and repair homes that strengthen this community. You can donate or make a pledge anytime by scanning the QR code on your table. You'll see options like Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal, or card. You can also fill out a giving form. It's inside of your program, and volunteers wearing blue t-shirts will collect the envelopes at the end. Thank you for being a part of this mission. Enjoy the program, and I'll be back later to share our fundraising progress and to invite you to make an even greater impact. And now I'll turn the stage back over to Libra.
Nice job. I love it. Well, let's make sure we use it. And it's so beautiful to see so many of you being a part of this beautiful opportunity to bring community together and making sure that we continue to provide hope for our people. I want to also share the progress that you all have helped with and how this has made community possible. So on our screen, you will see some examples. At this time last year, crews had just started to install massive retaining walls at 25th Terrace in Southwest Portland. Now, homes are springing up out of the hillside. Volunteers are framing 3 of the 17 detached homes here. Shortly after last year's home building lunch, the first trusses flew at Myrtlewood Way in Gresham. Let's see how it looks now. That deserves an applause. It's amazing. That's the same building with new fences and recent landscaping. These 20 homes in the vibrant community of Rockwood are expected to be ready for home buyers to start moving in later this summer. And this was the first wall raising in Lake Oswego with volunteers. By last April, they had finished the first floor of the Westlake Groves Building 1. Pretty amazing. Since then, volunteers fully framed 4 buildings. That's 10 of the 23 homes in this beautiful community. This is what happens when people like you come together. Round of applause again. That's beautiful. Now it is with great pleasure that I get to introduce your Habitat for Humanity's President and CEO, Steve Messinetti. Steve began his career with Habitat working at its international quarters in Georgia more than 30 years ago. A decade later, he took the helm at Habitat Portland region. Steve has guided the organization to become a region-wide leader in affordable home ownership development and a focus on green building sustainability. Under Steve's leadership, Habitat has received a number of honors, which includes this year, 2026 Portland Business Journal Social Impact Award. Please give a warm welcome to Steve Messinetti.
Thank you, Libra. Wow. Good evening. Good afternoon. Wow, what a crowd. My gosh, I hear there's almost 1,000 people in the room today. Thank you all for coming. You may have heard that Habitat turns 50 this year. So 50 years ago, in South Georgia, a group of people gathered around a pretty simple but audacious idea that everyone deserves a simple place to call home. That was before there was this big homeownership movement. That was before any big construction projects. Just a few dozen people on an interracial farm with a shared belief in justice that they'd hoped might catch on. Well, even then, in some of the first meetings, in one of the first meetings, someone dared to dream. What if Habitat for Humanity could someday build 1 million homes? Could someday build enough homes to house 1 million people? Was written in the minutes of one of those meetings, before the first house was even built in the US. Folks, today, 50 years later, more than 65 million people have been impacted by the work of Habitat for Humanity in 70 countries around the world. I'd say it's catching on. And folks, we're not done. We can't be done. Because here in Oregon, we're facing one of the largest housing shortages in our state's history. Homeownership rates in Oregon are one of the lowest in the country, 43rd in the nation. And starter homes are not getting built like they used to, and the homes that are available for sale are just too far out of reach for most families. So that's where Habitat for Humanity comes in. We build and sell homes at prices that are affordable to regular folks, and then we make sure folks have an affordable mortgage so they can build equity and long-term financial stability. It's a model that creates lasting impact, not just for these home buyers, but for the neighborhoods and the communities into the future. And many of you have met them. These homeowners, these home buyers at Habitat are the folks who help our city run. They're our frontline healthcare workers. They're our teachers' assistants. They're in senior care and retail jobs. They're doing everything right, working hard, but still falling short in being able to keep up with the local housing market. So here's a little bit more of what this looks like locally. Back in the day, Habitat built 1 home per year. As you heard, we now have over 100 homes under construction across the region in Lake Oswego, in Gresham, in Portland, that will be opening doors to more than 500 people. And next, we just broke ground on a project in Southwest Portland called Gooseberry Trails, one of our largest projects ever. 52 homes just blocks away from great schools and jobs and good parks. And then we'll break ground soon on our True North project. And there, 50 homes will be built for households that have been displaced from the historically black neighborhoods of North and Northeast Portland. And one of the reasons this work is so important, folks, is that the gap between white and black households in terms of their homeownership rates is about the same as it was 100 years ago. Think about that for a minute. And that's why this work is so important. And why Habitat for Humanity is proud that more than 70% of the families we serve are people of color, helping to bridge the homeownership gap in our region. Now, we can measure the work that we're doing in numbers, right? We can count the number of homes we've built, the number of families we've served, but this work is felt in one moment. The turn of a key, the opening of a door. For some families, it's immediate that they feel this transformation. Kids finally breathe freely because the air in their room is fresh and clean. For others, over time, as that stability settles in, kids start doing better in school, their parents start to benefit from that financial stability year after year. And this is really critical, folks, because this year, more than half of the families buying homes are single parents. That's right. Now, for this work to be successful, it takes all of you. It takes all of you as donors, as volunteers. In fact, every year now, about 1 million people volunteer for Habitat for Humanity across the world. And as you heard, volunteers build homes here for us in Portland, help in our restores. Volunteers helped out front today at this event. And they also advocate alongside us in Salem for better housing policies. And many of you know that volunteerism, as I said, opens doors for you as well. Now, I've talked a lot about opening doors. It's kind of our theme. But sometimes the most important door for someone is the one they want to keep walking through, their own front door. And there's too many longtime homeowners in our region who are in need of a critical repair to their home and that they can't afford, and they're at risk of losing their home as a result. So that's why our home repair program is also really important. So let me share with you now a story about a repair that we did this year. It was for Trudie. Trudie moved into her home 56 years ago, before Habitat got started, before I was born. And I'm going to let Trudie share her story here.
We came from Holland because it's really overpopulated. So it's hard to find a decent job. We were looking for a house, and we started looking in Southwest Portland. And the house is built in 1927. So next year it's going to be 100 years old. We moved into the house in January of 1970, and I lived in the house ever since. I've been living in my house with my best friend for 23 years, and he's my little bird, and his name is Gus. I started having problems with the roof like at least 8 to 10 years ago, but they were small leaks, and they would be able to patch it up. But then all of a sudden, when it started raining, it was just pouring out of there, and I couldn't sleep in the bed anymore. So I had to have something done to the roof. I cried. The bed was just soaking wet. And I go, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I talked to a friend, and she told me to call Habitat for Humanity, and I did, and they were really pretty quick. And Anthony came over here and just checked out the roof. It was probably like a month or 2 months. The roofers came over and come and check it out, and then they started pretty quick after that, and they repaired the roof within 3 days.
The roof was definitely very aged and was showing signs of leaking. There was also multiple layers of roofing stacked on top of each other, which was not ideal. The goal in the program is to keep families in their homes. Oftentimes, moving to assisted living or purchasing a new home is unattainable, unaffordable.
I would like to stay here as long as possible. If it's up to me, I really stay here until the rest of my life, because in the summer I live out on my deck, and I really, really like this area.
Seeing how Trudie felt about her roof, it's really gratifying. One of the best parts of my job is to give a good result on the project and ultimately see them happy, less anxious, and feeling good about the work we did.
I feel a lot safer now, and I'm really, really thankful for Habitat, because I really wouldn't know what to do.
And Trudie, Miss Trudie is here with us today. Trudie, please give the crowd a wave.
Thank you, Trudie.
And please make sure that you tell Gus hello from all of us. Steve, Trudie's story was about her roof, but the home repair program is so much more than that, correct?
That's right, it is. There's a lot of seniors, especially on fixed incomes, that are in need of some type of accessibility repair. So we do a lot of those wheelchair ramps and making bathrooms more accessible, but we also do electrical, plumbing, mechanical repairs, really anything that someone needs that they can't afford, that they need in order to be able to stay and age in place.
Yeah, that's a huge need, and thank you all for your contributions to that and for the work that you and your team do.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal actually is to get to the point where we're doing 100 home repairs every year. And every year we get closer to that goal thanks to the support from our community.
I love that. Yeah. That's exactly why we're here today, right?
That's right.
It's about opening doors to a brighter future for more of our community. Steve, I'm excited to introduce our featured guest speaker, who grew up in the stability of a Habitat home. Before Aisha joins us on stage, she shares her Beaverton community with us in a video.
Hi, my name is Aisha Osman. Welcome into our home.
I've been living in this home since I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and I am now 25 years old, so it's been a while. I remember my parents coming in and telling us that we were gonna move. I probably really didn't understand how it was gonna be because I was really young. We had a playground next to the big tree near our house, and all the neighborhood kids used to play there. We don't have that playground anymore, but those fond childhood memories, that's kind of what I hold. This is the heart of the home. I just think the living room is where my family all comes and sits down, and it's just for a time for us to kind of like connect, especially after work. Like after a long day, I just want to come home and kind of like lay on the couch and interact with my younger siblings, even if they don't want to interact with me at times. Our habitat community is pretty tight-knit. Everybody knows everyone. I'm grateful.
Please help me welcome Aisha to the stage. Aw.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to be with you all today. My name is Aisha Osman, and I have an incredible opportunity to share my experience with you guys. When people talk about Habitat for Humanity, they often talk about building homes. But what Habitat truly builds is something much more deeper than that. For me, that mission is deeply personal. My family is a proud Habitat family, and I've experienced firsthand how life-changing that work can be. My parents came to the United States as immigrants with a dream so many parents share, to give their children the opportunities they themselves never had. But like many immigrant families, starting over in a new country wasn't always easy. There were challenges, uncertainty, and times where stability felt far away. Then Habitat for Humanity opened a door for my family. When that door opened, it wasn't just the entrance to a home, it was security, it meant consistency, it meant my parents finally had something that they could call their own. A house that we could turn into a home, a place that we could grow up, feel safe, and start imagining a future that now felt possible. That stability changed the trajectory of my life. I remember being 15 years old, sitting in our Habitat home, thinking about the world and my place in it. At the time, President Obama was in office, and his presidency represented something historic for so many young people across the country. It was in that home I decided to write him a letter. I wrote about my experiences as a Black Muslim American and about my family's journey in this country. I wrote about identity, about belonging, and about what it meant to carry both my faith and my dreams. A few months later, I was invited to the White House Eid Reception. At first, I was invited simply as a guest, which already felt surreal enough, but a couple weeks before the reception, I was asked to introduce the president at the White House. Thank you. Without thinking too much about it, I said yes. But then reality started to set in, and I kind of regretted it, but I'm so glad that I said yes and decided to take that opportunity. Standing there that day, sharing my story and introducing President Obama was one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. It reminded me how powerful it is when young people are given the confidence and the opportunity to speak about where they're from and who they are. What made that moment even more special was knowing that far beyond that room, people were watching. Nearly 8,000 miles away, in my motherland of Somalia, my family and community were watching proudly as I stood and shared my story. When I reflect on that moment now, I realize that the confidence I carried in that room didn't start at the White House. It started much earlier than that. It started in the Habitat home that I grew up in. The home that gave me the stability to find my voice, the security to believe that my story mattered, and the foundation to dream beyond what I thought was possible. In many ways, being here today feels very similar. Just like I did then, I'm sharing my story with opportunities like this that matter. For me, the motivation to keep moving forward has always been rooted in family. My mother never had the opportunity to pursue an education that she deserved, and that reality has shaped my own path. The sacrifices my parents made are the reason I continue to strive towards my goals. I will forever be grateful to them for everything they endured so my siblings and I could have opportunities they never had. Today, I'm working towards attending law school in fall 2027 because I want to use my education as an advocate for others. After graduating from undergrad, I also had the chance to live in Morocco for 7 months, where I worked closely with students from different backgrounds. That experience broadened my perspective in ways that I'll always carry with me. But even while living abroad, I was always reminded how meaningful it is to have a place to return to. And that stability is something so many families are hoping for today. That's why the theme of this year's HopeBuilder Lunch resonates so deeply. Let's open the door. Because behind every door Habitat opens is a family whose life will change in ways that are hard to fully measure. Behind one door might be a child studying late at night, hoping to be the first in their family to graduate college. Behind another door might be a parent who is able to sleep peacefully at night, knowing that their kids are safe. And behind another door might be someone like me, someone whose entire path in life was shaped by the stability of having a place to call home. The work Habitat does is not just about building houses, it's about building futures. So today, I want to thank you all. Thank you for supporting Habitat for Humanity and believing in the power of opportunity. Thank you for helping open doors for families who are ready to build their futures, but simply need that foundation to begin. My family walked through a door that Habitat opened for us, and because of that, my life and my siblings' lives look very different today. Together, let's keep opening doors. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Aisha. Excellent. I love that. Aisha's story is beautiful. And it also speaks to how stability can feed our next leaders' dreams and hopes. We never know who the next inventor will be, who the next president will be. And sometimes it takes something just as simple as a stable home. Thank you for sharing your story. Now I'd like to bring up Ambassador Council Chair Claire Leipzig back to our stage.
Thank you again, Libra. Habitat opens doors for families like Aisha's, for homeowners like Trudie, for volunteers and neighbors who want to be a part of something better. Habitat doesn't just build and repair homes, they create lasting community where homes stay affordable forever. Neighbors support one another and opportunities ripple across generations. Shortly after I moved back to Portland, we were hit with the pandemic, a time of uncertainty and unrest. And I remember asking myself, am I doing anything that helps? Through the Ambassador Council, Habitat challenged me to stretch, to lead, and to see how my skills could make a difference. Volunteering with Habitat opened a door for me. Today, we set a goal of raising $500,000, and already we've raised a remarkable $405,000. And yes. $30,000 of that was just in this room while we've been here together. Thank you to everyone who made a gift during the program. If you haven't already, now is the time to make a gift and help us reach our goal. I want to welcome the Habitat staff and volunteers to the floor who will collect those donation envelopes. You can give or make a pledge by scanning the QR code at your table or by filling out a donation form and handing it to our friends in the blue Habitat t-shirts. Every single gift helps us move another family closer to a safe and stable home. Earlier, I mentioned our HopeBuilder Circle Challenge, and I want to remind you that that match is still active. Gifts and pledges of $1,000 or more are being doubled in real time. If $1,000 isn't the right gift for you today, please know that every gift truly matters. Here's what your gift can do. $50 provides paint and door hardware. $100 covers the materials for a handrail. $250 provides an ADA-compliant toilet, and $500 buys a front door. Giving to Habitat is a tangible way to see your philanthropy come to life. We'll take just a moment so those who feel moved to give can do so now. Your generosity today ensures that the door stays open for the next family, the next student, and the next generation of Portlanders. Thank you for opening the door to lasting community.
Thank you, Claire. And thank you to all of you who just gave generously to this wonderful cause. Before I let you go, I just want to say that I am more than privileged to have an opportunity to spend this time with you today. We are all aware of the challenges that our community faces when it comes to housing. But we must also remember to always believe in abundance, believe in hope, believe in inspiration. And I hope this time here gave you a little bit more of that to get through the rest of your week. A home isn't just shelter. It's a space where people dream, like Aisha's story and Trudie's story. There's so much more we can do for our neighbors that we should do for our neighbors to help them keep being inspired by this moment and those beyond this one. Let us continue to open the door. This isn't just a theme. This is an invitation to do something together as a community, not in this moment only, but for every moment beyond this one. Because real solutions live within us, within our community. Thank you to our table hosts for bringing us together. And you can cheer them on. And anyone that's here for the first time, a special thank you to you for showing up and learning more about Habitat. We hope this is only the beginning of a very long relationship between you and this incredible work. There are so many ways to stay involved. You can volunteer on build sites, shop, or donate at the Restore, or bring a friend with you to the HopeBuilder next year. Habitat has more than 100 homes underway right now, and we need people ready to swing hammers and raise walls. The QR code to volunteer is also on the screen. From the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of this incredible organization, I hope that you had a wonderful time here with your community, and I hope you're inspired to give more, not just of your resources, but of your time and your energy, so we can see more Aishas and Trudie walking side by side with us. Now, please take your centerpieces, because clearly that's less work for the team, and go open some doors and make sure we keep building our next leaders for tomorrow beyond our existence. Thank you for your time.